If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
Good morning. Good morning. How we doing, everyone? It's the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast from the truck. I'm your host, Richie. Man, a lot of history going down, folks. Cal Raleigh becoming a 60 home run catcher. That is insanity, as the American League record held by Aaron Judge from 2022 is definitely in jeopardy. Speaking of Aaron Judge, he hit two dingers as well in his own right, not tying, but doing something that only Babe Ruth has done. Becoming the second New York Yankee. Think about the illustrious history of the New York Yankees. Let's start there. Doing what only the Bambino has done, and that's hit 50-plus home runs in consecutive seasons. Now, you think about all the phenomenal sluggers that have played for the New York Yankees over the years, ranging from A-Rod, Giancarlo Stanton when he was raking home runs at that rate when he first came over to the Bombers, Reggie Jackson, Giambi, Teixeira, so many home run hitters, particularly which even enhance their abilities in that stadium. I'm not saying Judge has the short porch everywhere he goes. Judge hits mammoth home runs. But 51 and 52, quite an accomplishment. 50 and 51, quite an accomplishment. 4 games left. And, it brings the question, guys. There's bigger things going on, Cal Raleigh, 2 home runs was phenomenal yesterday, regardless of the ERA of the pitcher he hit it off of. Like, that dude had like a 7. Dude starting today has over a 9 ERA. You can only play who your opponents put out there, so I'm not going to blame anybody for that, because Judge has feasted on bad pitchers too. Great hitters do feast on bad pitchers. But what's more important is that both of these teams are in a position to win their divisions. The Mariners already did it yesterday. Their first American League West championship since 2001. That was a very long time ago. I was actually at Game 1 of the American League Championship Series against Seattle in the Bronx. It's absurd. It's absurd. That 01 Mariner team, probably the greatest Seattle team that they ever had. The Yankees were on a mission. The Yankees won the American League. They lost to Arizona. We know how that played out. Were denied of a four-peat. Seattle Mariners have never played in a World Series. So as, juicy and as cool as this home run talk is, there are bigger goals. But I do want to talk about MVP. I want to talk about why one or the other should be recognized as the MVP this year. Now, I'm a diehard Yankee fan, and I do believe that Aaron Judge is the best overall player year in and year out in the American League. But the reason why Cal Raleigh will get my vote if I have one is number one, catcher is the most difficult position and physically demanding position in all of Major League Baseball. Let's make that clear. Catcher is the most demanding position in Major League Baseball. And the thing is, guys, to hit that ratio of home runs when you're also massaging a pitching staff, I know the average isn't sexy, and the average probably at any position is most forgivable if you are a catcher. If you are a catcher, I think it's the most forgivable, unless if, you're talking the old days in the National League when pitchers would bat. Outside of that, being a catcher, your average is the most forgivable because of the beating your body takes. But it's not so much that. I think the IL stint to Aaron Judge and the fact that this particular year he has DH'd more than in previous years. So his assist numbers, things of that nature are not going to be up. That does affect it. I mean, he has a better OPB. Judge is constantly amongst the lead of all MLB players in intentional walks. And if Aaron Judge doesn't have that 2-week stint on the IL, do I think that he's ahead of Cal Raleigh? Good possibility in the home runs. But what you're seeing from Cal Raleigh, it's like he's a unicorn right now, doing that as a catcher. It's unheard of. And Cal Raleigh might never produce anything even comparable to this again. But when you consider the history of that record, Ruth, icon, we know this. Maris wasn't an icon. He wasn't even he wasn't even accepted amongst the New York media on his own team when he broke the record. Judge, surefire Hall of Famer. Raleigh, we don't know. This might just be a season for the ages, and he never does anything like this again. But my ultimate bottom line when talking about what Cal Raleigh is doing is that it needs to be applauded. And I would love to see Judge win. I'm an old school person in train of thought when it comes to baseball. I think when you hit for average like Judge is and have consistently done it, and then there comes that other question. Who's more important to their team? I think you'd be hard-pressed, very hard-pressed, to find any two players in all of MLB that are more important to their teams. And I'm not even talking about Cal's home run ratios and metrics. I'm talking about the fact that he's one of the better catchers in MLB. And, he's essentially calling shots for one of the better pitching staffs in MLB. And I think that's one of the things that constantly gets overlooked about being a catcher. Now, speaking of catching, Ben Rice, episode's called Fried Rice Cooking. In this case, Fried. Max Fried getting his 19th victory of the season, helping the New York Yankees tie the Toronto Blue Jays. And we can thank the Boston Red Sox for the other part of that help. 4 games left to play. The New York Yankees have climbed all the way back to the top, and they have cashed in on the advantage of playing lesser teams down the stretch. But they all play the same amount of games against the same teams. So is the schedule favorable that this happens at a time like this? Absolutely. But the Yankees have more than earned getting themselves in a position for the final 4 games to win this division, get that important bye, and see what the other teams do and hope for long series that other teams, kind of wear each other down. It is a huge advantage to avoid a 3-game series because no matter how good of a team you are, anybody could take you out in just the best of 3 series. We see it frequently that great teams, you only have to have 2 bad nights, and it's a good night for the season. As the other New York team goes, New York Mets got their doors blown off yesterday. However, they catch a massive break with the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Cincinnati Reds both getting beat. The Reds fan base has to be going nuts because the Mets are giving them every opportunity to, claim that final wild card spot. I will say this. Maybe I'm overreacting or overstating it, and maybe I'm off base, but I don't think I am. When you have the overall coverage and you throw the kind of money that the New York Mets have thrown to Juan Soto, and I get it, he's having a hell of a year. After a slow start, he's put together quite a season. Do I think that he helps the Yankees more than helped the Yankees more than he helps the Mets? I mean, look at their record. I would say so. Now, the Yankees have better pitching, and coming into the season, I stated that that was one of my biggest concerns about these New York Mets, that they weren't going to have enough pitching consistency. And that has proved true for the most part. They have a phenomenal closer in Edwin Diaz, but getting enough innings out of your starters and that bridge to Diaz has not been the smoothest of transitions for the Mets. And Mets, for a while had a shot at the National League East, and now they're 12 out just trying to get in. I guess what I'm trying to say is if the New York Mets miss the playoffs, regardless of what's fair or not, and when you consider that Juan Soto makes more money than Shohei Ohtani, I'm sorry. I don't see Juan Soto as a five-tool player. He's a phenomenal talent, and there's certain things that he does at the most elite level. He's not a great outfielder. For the money he's making, I feel that his average should be higher. The home runs are there. I'll give him that. The home runs are there this year. You got to give him credit for that. His on-base percentage is always going to be there because he's masterful at drawing walks. But when you're making more money than Shohei Ohtani, a dual threat, a guy that pitches once every 5 days, and is a top 5 offensive threat in Major League Baseball, I want to see more from Juan Soto. I want to see him, go above and beyond defensively and just continue to work on being a better outfielder. I want to see that average in the 300s every year. Now, it seems like in today's Major League Baseball, with analytically driven stuff, average is not celebrated the way it used to be. But I'm sorry, baseball's still baseball, and hitting for average is still something that should be applauded. But if the New York Mets miss the playoffs, it's comical to a level when I consider that the New York Yankees took the resources that would have been just for Juan Soto and really filled out the roster. And when third base didn't work out, they went and got one. They need a utility man. They go get Caballero. Cody Bellinger, although he's in a slump right now, has been a really good contributor. Trent Grisham, the guy who came over in the Juan Soto deal, is having the best year of his career and has been a vital part of why the Yankees are in the position they are in. And what more can I say about the versatile Ben Rice? First time catching Max Fried this juncture of the year, and he looks like they've been battery mates forever. And this is a guy that also plays first. The Yankees knew, regardless with Stanton getting healthy, that they had to make sure that Rice could constantly be in the lineup, and it has paid dividends. The jump that Ben Rice has made from year 1 to year 2 is nothing short of phenomenal. And I am so thankful and so happy that the Yankees did not lose patience with Ben Rice. As much as I love Paul Goldschmidt, the former league MVP of the National League, and as much as I love the way that he hits lefties, there's no conceivable way that I don't see Goldschmidt as the odd man out given his age. I think Ben Rice has earned the right to be the first option at first base, and so you could keep Austin Wells and whoever you choose to be the backup catcher. Maybe J.C. Escara down the road comes back up as a consistent option to be a backup for Austin Wells. We shall see, but bottom line is, however you get Ben Rice in the lineup, it has to happen. What I like about this Yankee team right now is the balance. So many Yankee teams in past years have always had their success or lack thereof predicated off of just hitting home runs. You have speed in this lineup. You have guys that work counts. You have wily veterans that come up with timely hits, like guys like Stanton, guys like Goldschmidt, who are former league MVPs, but maybe a little bit out of their prime. And the pitching, what more can you say? In a season that you lost, the great Garrett Cole, the combination of Carlos Rodon and Max Fried has been terrific. And I say to myself, if Cole is even 75% of the pitcher that he was prior to Tommy John surgery, the Yankees are going to be in a phenomenal place with the big three in that rotation. And you youngsters like Luis Gil and Cam Schlittler, who are only going to get better with the right approach. Major League Baseball is getting really exciting. I cannot believe the plight of the Detroit Tigers on behalf of Jordan Patrick, on behalf of That show that is now the Richie X Jr. Sports Podcast. It's all love, but it's funny. It's fuck you, AJ Hinch. That was always a joke that we were going to kind of slide that on our merch. We know what AJ Hinch, what he led during his time with the Houston Astros. All jokes aside, a great manager, and it's a lot of irony that the Tigers and the Astros are fighting for the final spot in the wild card situation in the American League. You got the Red Sox, who are red hot right now. They might get the Blue Jays immediately after kicking their ass the final week of the season. I imagine Toronto can't be looking forward to that. But just good stuff all the way around. Thursday night football, I think you guys will be humored with this. Sleep deprivation is a real thing when you have a vibrant 8-year-old and just getting him out the door. I don't know what happened yesterday, but for some reason I thought yesterday was Thursday. So I'm hitting my parlay. I knocked out all my baseball bets, only to realize that yesterday was not Thursday. So I do have some action in that Seahawks-Cardinals game. We'll see how that plays out. If you didn't catch yesterday's show, I am taking the Seattle Seahawks 24-23 as a road victor in a close game. I think it's going to be a very close game. It should be an interesting game. I think it will be fun to see how it all plays out. I like Sam Darnold less likely to make a bigger mistake. That's the reason why I'm taking Seattle tonight. And Trey Benson getting the bigger workload. I'm going to trust the running backs that do it more frequently on a consistent basis. I think you're going to see something comparable to what you saw with the 49er Cardinal game, but with a little more offense, a little more ability to get into the green zone, as Coach Coughlin likes to say, but, talking about the end zone, of course, the money zone. It's going to be a close game. Give me the Seahawks by just a point. 24-23 tonight. Also tonight, tune in. Announcement time to come, but we will be giving you our Week 3 NFL preview. Monday night game will be included on that show as well tonight. I know for a fact that Idris Salam will be joining me. I'm going to reach out and see who else we get on our panel tonight. But looking forward to it. And last thought before I get out of here, shouts out Russell Wilson, showing a lot of humility, a lot of class, of a true veteran role model, just a great person off the field. Regardless of what people think, whether it's Giant fans or NFL fans around the board, the grace and humility that he's taking getting benched, and the responsibility that he's going to take to help young Jackson Dart become the best quarterback he could possibly be, speaks volumes about the character of Russell Wilson. If you haven't, check out my page. I gave his interview from Quest Diagnostics as he spoke to the media. Russell Wilson is just a quality human being before anything that he does in a potential Hall of Fame worthy career. Until next time, I am Richie. Thank you for hanging. I will see you guys and girls tonight. Announcement time to come. I'll be sharing that on my socials. Have a great Thursday, everyone. I'm out.